Testing. 1, 2. Hello. There we go. Looks like we got our audio back. We'll double check that real quick. We found a way. Missed a whole inning, but we found a way. Check, testing. There we go. All right. All right, welcome to this production. This picture only up until this point production of Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television, Comcast 21, and Verizon 32. A little bit of technical difficulties. It usually happens when the new season comes around, and you're working out of a van, but we're doing it. My name is Nicholas Callis. Linus running camera for us over there. Ryder doing the directing. And right now, no score. It's the top of the second inning. Both teams went down relatively quickly in the first inning. Dylan Paul doing the pitching for Bethel Park. And a line drive to right field. Scores a run. Throw to the plate is cut off. And so we got our first big action of the game. It's 1-0. Trinity is in the lead over Bethel Park. And now up to the plate is Storm. Throws a strike. So that was. And 2 outs, so relatively clutch as well. Roba, Stoy, and Hartley. Those in the starting lineup for Trinity. Runner goes from first. Strike called. Thrown out to second. It not quite in time. Umpire in the field says safe. So a stolen base for Donley. That puts 2 in scoring position again. Mistake. There's only 1 out in this top of the second inning, so Trinity in prime position to score. Pitch, here it is. Ball in the dirt. Count goes to 1-2. Starting defense for Bethel Park. Doing the catching, Ethan Stanhoff at first, Owen White at second, Nick Rillo at third base. In left field, Aaron. Here's the pitch. Swing, softly hit to the second baseman, Rillo. He's going to take the play at first. Score for Trinity. So 2-0. Meanwhile, Donley goes from second to third on the play. So 2 outs, 2 in for Trinity in this half inning. Strikes. On third, 2 outs, 2 runs scored on. Trinity got to be home, and Trinity lost that one, but now Trinity up early in this one. Down to one of the last sets of this. Park ended up winning both games to solidify its season. Swing and a miss by Hartley, and that makes the count now 2 balls. He's bringing this game onto television if you're watching live. He's earlier, so if you're wondering, hey, I didn't hear anything. That's what happens our first game of the season. We got to iron out a few kinks, but bringing the game to you. Trinity with 2 runs in that half inning. And after an inning and a half, it's 2-0 Trinity. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. Pleasure to be with you. My name is Nicholas Callis, and Bethel Park batting now down 2-0 against Trinity. Swinging a miss by Owen White. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for Bethel Park in this bottom of the second inning. White, Levis, and Hoffbauer, the three set to hit. On the ground, up the middle, pitcher plays, throws to first. It's a high throw, but the first baseman secures it for the out. That was pitcher Schrader over to first baseman Chandler for the out. One out, bottom of the second inning. Bethel Park trailing by 2, and here is Joey Levis. Starting defense for Trinity in this game. We'll go over that now. Catching Williamson. At first base, Chandler. At second, Donnelly. At third base, Stoy. At shortstop, Roba. Pitch coming from Schrader. Just a bit inside for a ball. Out in left field, Samakala. In center, Hartley. And in right field, Hathaway. Bethel Park 3-0 to start the season after beating USC twice in a doubleheader at the beginning of last week. Both games were played on the road. For that one, they just decided to get them both out of the way since weather was a little iffy last week. This is Bethel Park's first time playing at home this season. Counts 2 balls and 1 strike now on Levis. Schrader's pitch. Hit him on the back of the foot as he was trying to evade the pitch, and he'll go down to first base on that hit by pitch. This is a Class 5A Section 2 game, and Blackhawk TV and Bethel Park Public Access will be your home for all section games for the baseball team this year, with a couple others sprinkled in as well as we find appropriate throughout the season. But you can be guaranteed to see all section games home and away live on Blackhawk TV and live on BPTV, Comcast 21 and Verizon 32. Pitch out. It's ball 1, Hoffbauer at the plate. First time to the plate in this game for him. Trinity is 1-2 in section to start the season. Hoffbauer bunts, goes down the first base, or right to the pitcher, who throws to first for the out. Schrader just got off the mound to play it and threw over to first. So that advances Levis from first to second, puts him in scoring position with 2 outs. And the order recycles for Bethel Park. Ryan Petrus comes to the plate. 2 outs and the bases occupied, or 1 base occupied to be specific at second. It's Levis leading off. Shortstop holding on Levis at second. Schrader's pitch. On the ground, towards short. Played cleanly. And the throw to first is in time. Played out at short by Roba, and the inning comes to an end. So for Bethel Park, no runs, no hits. There was 1 hit by pitch in the inning, and that hit batter was left on second base. After 2 full innings, it's Trinity 2, Bethel Park 0. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. I'm Nicholas Callis. Ryder directing for us, Linus running camera. Appreciate their efforts today. We're up and running very strongly. And Trinity up and running strongly in this game to start. Trinity's up 2-0. We're now in the top of the third inning. Dylan Paul still pitching for Bethel Park. On the ground toward the middle, played there by Paul, who's just going to flip it over to first for the routine out. So Hartley is out for the first out of this top of the first. And I got to correct myself. That was Chandler who grounded out. So one out after Chandler grounds out to the pitcher. Now it's Summit Kalla at the plate. On the ground, sharply hit toward third, played by Mike Bruckner. High throw to Owen White, who comes down with the baseball and gets his foot on the bag for the force out. 2 quick outs for Bethel Park in the top of the third inning, and now here's the number 3 hitter in the order. It's Robaugh for Trinity. Trinity right now in the Class 5A Section 2 standings, listed as the 6th place team of the 7 teams in the section. One of their 2 losses was to Bethel Park in section at a ground to the third. Mike Bruckner again. This time a more accurate throw to White at first base. And a relatively quick routine 1-2-3, top of the third for Bethel Park. No runs, no hits, nobody left on for Trinity. After 2.5 innings, it's Trinity 2, Bethel Park 0. You are watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. My name is Nicholas Callis. Can't thank Ryder, who's here directing, and Linus here running camera enough. They've been doing a very wonderful job through all of the sports seasons, and it's hard to believe we're almost going to make a cycle here. We've done all the football games for the team in the fall. We did most of the boys and girls basketball games in the winter, and now we've got spring baseball here. Ground ball, left side of the infield, played. Throw to first, in time, well played. And shortstop there by Robaugh for out number 1. And that was Stanoff grounding out. That'll bring up Mike Bruckner, batting in the third spot. Bat with nobody on and 1 out. In the bottom of the third inning, his team trailing by 2 runs. It's 2-0, Trinity on top. Trinity scored a couple in that second inning. Took advantage of runners in scoring position. Schrader still on the mound for Trinity. So far pitching a scoreless game. His first inning was a bit threatening for Bethel Park, but they couldn't get anything done. And in the second inning, just 1 base runner on a hit by pitch. But nothing else to show for that. Foul ball behind the plate. Count is no balls, 2 strikes on Bethel Park's number 3 hitter and third baseman Mike Bruckner. He was a middle-of-the-order hitter last season, too, for Bethel Park. Tall, imposing figure. Also was part of the basketball team in the winter. One of their primary pieces. Inside, counts. Well, the scoreboard says 2-1. Perhaps I got my numbers mixed up there, so we'll just go with the scoreboard. 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. Softly hit on the ground towards short. Another chance for the shortstop. Well played, out at first. It's out number 2. Another solid play there by Robaugh for out number 2. They'll make it 2 outs now in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And here comes Noah Lejeune, designated hitter and 4th hitter in the order. He was the pitcher in yesterday's game. Now the DH in this one, swing and a miss. Not uncommon when players pitch, then they get a rest from the field and get to go in that designated hitter's role. He's batting for Dylan Paul, the pitcher. Schrader's pitch. Softly hit behind the plate, foul. Count is quickly no balls, 2 strikes. Bases empty, 2 outs, bottom of the 3rd. Trinity up by 2 runs. Here's the pitch. Just a bit outside, looked like a breaking ball. It makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Line fair to the right of the left field line. Lejeune will take a hard turnaround first, and he'll stop there. Got himself a 2-out single. So the inning keeps rolling through. That was an odd way to say that. The inning keeps going. We're still in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Lejeune keeps it alive for at least one more batter here. Now Jack Bruckner will bat. Bethel Park down 2-0. Bruckner batting with Lejeune on first base. Schrader's pitch. Too high for a ball. It's Bethel Park again 3-0 in section to start this season. Trinity 1-2 in section. Trinity lost to Chartiers Valley once in the 2 games that they played last week. And then Trinity lost to Bethel Park yesterday 5-1. So split doubleheaders this year is the theme. 1 home game, 1 away game. Back-to-back days. So since Trinity was home yesterday, Bethel Park gets to be home today. Ball. Snap throw to first by Williamson. And Lejeune is back safely. Lejeune just reached on a single. So he's on first base. Jack Bruckner at the plate. Counts 2 balls and 1 strike on the Bethel Park center fielder. Schrader comes set. The pitch. Fouled back. 2 ball, 2 strike count. I sounded a little more panicked because that ball looked like it was coming right for our little production van here. And I didn't want to see that. So I also didn't want to get hit. I mean, I got the window open here, so theoretically get hit with a line drive if it was hit hard enough. But enough about me. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Jack Bruckner, 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Jack Bruckner down on strikes. Inning comes to an end. Zach Schrader, despite giving up a base runner, fails to let Bethel Park score through 3 innings. 2-0's the score. Top of the 4th coming up next. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. Oh, jeez. Hello? You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. Trinity has kept Bethel Park scoreless through 3 innings. Now it's the 4th. Trinity's up by 2. They scored a couple in the 2nd inning. Came through with runners in scoring position, and now we're about halfway through this one. Swing and a miss. Big swing by Falvo. Count as no balls and a strike. Falvo, the designated hitter, batting 4th in the order for Trinity. He's batting for the pitcher, Schrader, who has done his part through 3 innings, keeping Bethel Park scoreless. A couple base runners reached on him, but none of them have come around to score. Dylan Paul still pitching for Bethel Park. He's given up 2 earned runs to this point. That pitch is in the dirt for a ball. Count even 1-1. Trinity 1-2 in section so far. Class 5A Section 2. That one misses as well from Dylan Paul. Bethel Park is 3-0 in section. So Bethel Park 3-0, the leader in the section right now. Moon is 2-2 in second. Peters Township 1-1, as is South Fayette, as is Chartiers Valley. Chartiers Valley split with this very Trinity team. Nice play by Rillo at second, and Falvo is out at first base. That is out number 1. One out, top of the 4th inning, and now that'll bring up the number 5 hitter in the order, Hathaway. But yeah, 3 teams in the middle that are tied with 1-1 records. Just said Chartiers Valley split with Trinity when they played last week. And then the bottom 2 teams, Trinity now 1-2 in section after losing to Bethel Park yesterday. And then Upper St. Clair has not yet won a section game this season. USC is 0-2. Dylan Paul's pitch. Strike. Count is even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. Dylan Paul had him off balance. Hathaway now down to the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Check swing, but he did not chase. Count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, top of the 4th inning. Bethel Park is trailing Trinity 2-0. The pitch. Swing and a miss, got him to chase that off-speed pitch. And Hathaway is down on strikes for out number 2. 2 outs, top 4. And now here's catcher Jonah Williamson. His courtesy runner scored back in the 2nd inning after he reached base. Swing and a fly ball foul. That'll go out of play down the right side of the field. Count is 0-1. Two outs, base is empty. Trinity batting against Bethel Park. Ball. Count even 1-1. One pitch. Here it is. That one low. Counts 2 balls and a strike. Dylan Paul still pitching. Just 1 inning where he gave up runs. It's been scoreless in the other 2 full innings, and he's an out away from getting through this 4th inning with no runs given up. That's a strike. Count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes on catcher Jonah Williamson. Here's the pitch. Bait pitch there. He didn't bite at it, though. Didn't Williamson, and that runs the count. Full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch. I'll do it again after that one goes foul. Out of play down the right side. Dylan Paul ready to deliver another 3-2 pitch. Out to right, heading toward the line, and play is made out in right field by Joey Levis, and that will end the top of the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base after 3.5. It's Trinity 2, Bethel Park 0. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. My name is Nicholas Callis. It's a pleasure to be with you on this fine afternoon. It's a little chilly outside, but the sun's out, so it makes it feel warmer by comparison to what it was like, in the morning when there's no sun out, or when it's nighttime and it gets real cold too. Ryder doing the directing for us in this game, and then there's Linus out running camera. Bethel Park is trailing 2-0. That one's popped up. On the infield, playable. And the shortstop, Roba, makes the play for out number 1. So Nick Rillo out on 1 pitch. And now here's first baseman Owen White. Schrader on the mound, still dealing for Trinity. He's been pitching very efficiently in this one. Dylan Paul has pitched relatively efficiently, too, despite giving up the 2 runs he did in the 2nd inning. Outside for a ball. Count evened up. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bases empty, bottom of the 4th inning. It's a 2-0 Trinity lead. Trinity lost to Bethel Park when Trinity played at home yesterday. It was a 5-1 final. Foul tip. 1-2 count now on Owen White. First baseman for Bethel Park. Getting some repetitions in at that position pretty regularly so far this season. Inside and high. Ball 2. Count even up 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bethel Park has had at least 1 runner on for most of the innings in this game, but they have yet to score. Softly hit. Foul just behind the plate. Count is still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bethel Park's first baseman and number 7 hitter is at the plate now, facing Schrader. Pitch. Softly hit foul down the third base line. Count still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Zach Schrader gets a sign from Williamson. Here's another 2-2. Too high. Count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Levis is on deck for Bethel Park. Pitch. Check swing. Appeal. No swing, says the first base umpire on the appeal, which makes that ball 4. And White reaches on a walk. And now both umpires are going to talk it over. And so usually one umpire can overrule another. If they miss something, they can discuss it and then get the call right. And it looks like that's what they did there. They said Owen White did swing. And now head coach of Bethel Park, Pat Zender, over there at third base, has some questions of his own. And so ultimately, I do have respect for umpires when they do that. Their job is to get the call right. And their initial gut reaction to every play might not always be the right call. There may be something in the way, something that they missed. So they got that call right, so they feel, to call Owen White out on that swing. So he strikes out for out number 2. And now it's a 1-ball, no-strike count to Aaron Hoffbauer. Or that's Joey Levis, I'm sorry. Grounded to third, misplayed at third base. It was a hard hit ball, but certainly playable. It may go down as an error on the third baseman Stoy to allow Levis to reach. And right as I misspoke, Levis reached, and now we've got Hoffbauer at the plate. 2 outs, runner on first. Schrader comes set. Strike called there, counts 0-1. Schrader comes set. 0-1 pitch. Line drive to right. That's going to fall fair down the first base line. Hoffbauer is going to hesitate, rounding first. He'll go back. And Levis goes all the way from first to third base. So Bethel Park taking advantage of the error to put runners on the corners with 2 outs now in the bottom of the 4th inning. And here comes Ryan Petrus to the plate as the top of the order comes back up for Bethel Park. Bethel Park trailing Trinity by 2 runs. It's a 2-0 game. Bethel Park has not yet scored, but a prime opportunity here to get at least 1 run on the board with their top of the order up and runners on base. Schrader's pitch outside, ball 1. Petrus, an on-base machine at the top of this Bethel Park order. He's fast, he hits for solid contact, and has been known to hit in the clutch. Also a note, Owen White is now warming up in the bullpen for Bethel Park. Strike called there. One ball, 1 strike count, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. Williamson elects to hold the baseball and allow Hoffbauer to reach second base uncontested, so we'll call that a stolen base. Now the count's 2 balls, 1 strike. Now 2 runners in scoring position for Ryan Petrus at the plate. Outside for a ball. 3 ball, 1 strike count now. Schrader comes set. Big pitch here. Line drive. Schrader makes the catch on the mound. Catching the line drive off the bat of Ryan Petrus. And the inning comes to an end in Bethel Park. Leaves more runners on base. An error, a hit in that inning. 2 runners left on base. No runs came across to score. Bethel Park still being shut out. Through 4 innings, it's 2-0 Trinity leads. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. It's a beautiful day, I'd say, for an early April day. .48 degrees right now in the greater Pittsburgh area. Trinity up 2-0 against Bethel Park. Top of the fifth inning is here. Strike called there, counts 0-1. Donnelly, Stoy, and Hartley. Three batters due up for Trinity in this half inning. Swing and a miss. Counts no balls and 2 strikes on Donnelly. Dylan Paul still pitching for Bethel Park. Pop fly out towards shallow center field. Brian Petrus has a play and makes the routine play for out number 1. Yeah, despite that second inning, Trinity just got on a roll and with 1 out was able to manufacture a couple runs. And now Trinity leads by a couple as we've reached now the later half of this game. Dylan Paul into the windup in the pitch. Ball counts 1-0. One ball, no strike pitch. Here it comes. Strike called there, count even. 1-1. On the ground toward third base, Mike Bruckner, routine play. Over to Owen White at first base for out number 2. 2 rather quick, efficient outs for Dylan Paul to start this top of the fifth inning. And now it's the bottom of the order. Hartley comes to the plate. Center fielder and number 9 hitter in the order for Trinity, batting with 2 outs. Base is empty and his team up by 2 runs. On the ground, softly hit, right side of the infield. Paul comes off the mound, bobbles it. Nobody covering first base. And Hartley will reach on an infield single. The right side of the infield is a bit crossed up. Nick Rillo wanted to go cover the bag from second. Couldn't quite do it. Dylan Paul was running toward first, and Owen White may have thought that Dylan Paul was going to go cover the bag while White went to get the ball. So too many players went for the ball. Nobody covered the first base bag. That's the summary of that play, and that's how Hartley reaches. Now back to the top of the order. Chandler will bat for Trinity with 2 outs now and a runner on first base. Dylan Paul out of the stretch. Big kick and pitch. Ball just a bit outside. Count is 1 ball and no strikes. So Trinity with an extra out to work with after a well-placed infield hit for Hartley. Pickoff attempt. And back safely is Hartley at first. Ball hit off the knob of the bat. It's a fair ball. Dylan Paul flips it over to Owen White covering first base, and that's an out. That was a heck of a pitch. It was up and in on Chandler. The officials say that it hit off the knob of Chandler's bat, which means it is a batted ball, was put fair in play, and Chandler is out on the force. So the inning comes to an end. The umpires just checked with each other as well, just to double check, and they both did have the knob of the bat as making contact with the baseball, so that is an out. That is the 3rd out of the inning, and that will end the top of the 5th inning. No runs on 1 hit in the inning for Trinity, and 1 runner left on base. After 4.5, it's Trinity 2, Bethel Park 0. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You can watch live games on cable television. Any section game that Bethel Park's in this season, home or away, we're covering it live. You can watch on YouTube on Blackhawk TV 412. Just search it, subscribe to if you want notifications on when we go live during these games. We can also watch on cable TV. So if you or somebody that you know wants to watch live baseball on cable for the Bethel Park High School season, home and away games in section, go to Comcast 21 and Verizon 32 and you can catch games. Like I said, they are live. If you're watching this game on April 1st, 2025, it's not April Fool's. This is a live baseball game. Ethan Standoff just popped out to first base for out number one. Middle of the order is coming through now for Bethel Park. Mike Bruckner comes to the plate. And he'll bat with bases empty and one out in the bottom of the fifth inning. Ball. Zach Schrader still on the mound for Trinity. Kept Bethel Park scoreless through 4 full innings. Now there's one out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Bethel Park has left some runners on base in this one. They left runners on the corners to end the fourth inning. Strike called. Got even 1-1 on the third baseman of Bethel Park. Bethel Park still undefeated in section. Swept Upper St. Clair in a 2-game doubleheader set. And got a win yesterday 5-1 against Trinity. 1-ball, 2-strike count now on Mike Bruckner. This game is a Class 5A Section 2 matchup. Line drive, caught, out at second base. For out number 2. Ball was caught out there at second by Donnelly. 2 quick outs for Trinity in the bottom of the fifth inning. Bethel Park has designated hitter Noah Lejeune at the plate. Cleanup hitter batting with the bases empty and 2 outs. Strike, counts 0-1. Swing and a miss, counts. No balls, 2 strikes on Lejeune. Schrader a strike away from completing 5 scoreless innings against Bethel Park. Just a bit high and inside. Count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. On the ground. Fair down the first base line. It gets past the first baseman. Lejeune, hard turnaround first, will stop and retreat back to first, satisfied with a single. It was Hathaway out and right who got that ball in quickly. But Bethel Park keeps the inning alive with a 2-out hit by Lejeune, and now here comes Jack Bruckner to the plate. Two outs, 1 on for Bethel Park. Bethel Park trailing by 2 to Trinity in this half inning. Schrader's pitch, bunt shown, pull back ball. Williamson corrals it and keeps Lejeune from advancing from first base. Bunt shown. Strike, counts 1-1. There's action in the Trinity bullpen as well. Burt warming up, right-handed pitcher for Trinity right now in the bullpen. Schrader's pitch. Ball. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Pitch to Bruckner from Schrader. Outside. Advantageous I just pronounced that word wrong. Advantageous position for Jack Bruckner. 3-ball, 1-strike count on him. Runner on first, 2 outs. At this point in the game right now, Jack Bruckner is representing the tying run for Bethel Park since they're trailing by 2. Outside, ball 4. Jack Bruckner's discipline pays off. He walks, pushing Noah Lejeune to second base. So it's Lejeune on second, Jack Bruckner on first. And Nick Rillo gets ready to bat, but before that, timeout called and a meeting at the mound for Trinity. So far, Schrader has kept Bethel Park scoreless through nearly 5 innings. Was a strike away from completing the 5 scoreless innings, but Noah Lejeune hit a single out to right field, extending the inning, and Jack Bruckner just walked. So 2 on, 2 outs. Bethel Park down by 2. And Nick Rillo got out his last trip to the plate as an opportunity to get Bethel Park on the board. Runners more likely to score with 2 outs because they don't have to tag up if that final out of the inning is recorded. Won't matter anyway. Left-handed hitter stands in. It's Nick Rillo, second baseman for Bethel Park. Burt still warming up in the bullpen for Trinity. Pitch misses for a ball. Well, despite not scoring, Bethel Park has gotten on base pretty consistently in this game, but their big issue is that they've left a lot of those runners on base. They've left all of them on base, actually, because they haven't scored yet. Schrader's gotten out of some trouble in this game. Inside, pick to second. Lejeune is back safely, and Robot keeps the ball in front of him and prevents it from going into the outfield. Lejeune had a big secondary on second base, and Williamson caught that and tried to backpick him. All runners safe though. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. 2-0 Trinity lead. Schrader comes set. The pitch. Strike caught over the outside edge of the plate. Makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Bethel Park has had a few opportunities in this game, but they get more tense as the later innings come around. It's the bottom of the 5th inning, and Bethel Park is down by 2. It's a big spot. Schrader's pitch. Softly hit. Foul behind the plate. Count even 2 balls, 2 strikes. For what it's worth as well, Roba has been holding Lejeune on second base. It's leaving a gap on the left side of the infield. Now Roba goes back toward standard depth. Now he goes back to try to hold him on. Could play a factor in play if depending on where Rillo hits the ball. 2-2 count, 2 outs, 2 on for Bethel Park in the bottom of the 5th. The pitch. On the ground, a Robot second. Flips to second base, forcing out Jack Bruckner and ending the 5th inning. So despite a little tension, Bethel Park fails to score again. And now that's 5 innings that Bethel Park has failed to score in. No runs on a hit, 1 walk in the inning, and 2 runners left on base. After 5 full innings, it's Trinity 2 and Bethel Park 0. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. It's Bethel Park High School baseball, and you can find it consistently at one place, and that's Blackhawk TV on YouTube and Bethel Park Public Access Television, Comcast 21 and Verizon 32. Do not hesitate. If you want to watch Bethel Park High School baseball section games this season, home or away games, Blackhawk TV is your home, and Bethel Park Public Access Television is your home. We'll call Blackhawk TV your YouTube home, your online home, and we'll call Bethel Park Public Access Television your official television flagship station of Bethel Park High School baseball. Again, home and away games. If it's a section game, we'll be covering them here. Check swing, appeal to first. Yes, he did. 2-ball, 1-strike count. It's Trinity batting again. Trinity has shut out Bethel Park through 5 full innings now. Dylan Paul still pitching for Bethel Park. Gave up 2 runs in the second inning, and that was it. On the count, even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dylan Paul winds up and throws. Outside, ball. Samakala, Roba, and Falvo, the 3 scheduled to hit for Trinity in this half inning. 3-2 count on Samakala. Swing and a miss. Strike him out. Dylan Paul continues to be efficient. Even in the inning where he gave up runs, they were pretty quick runs given up. He's been throwing relatively well. Schrader has been taxed through the 5 innings he's pitched and was a little shaky in a couple of the innings that he threw in, but despite that, still has not given up a run. Both teams had some late bullpen action, but no official substitutions yet. That one's flied out toward right field. Foul territory. The ball is not caught. It drops foul in right field. Levis was out there. Owen White was out there. And Nick Rillo was out there. The 2 infielders and the outfielder trying to play that ball, but they could not. Ball landed foul, and so everything resets. Roba at the plate, shortstop, 3-hitter in the order for Trinity. No ball, 1-strike count. Here comes the pitch from Dylan Paul. Ball. Count evened up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Samagala just batted. He got out, struck out. Now it's Roba. His chance. 1-1 pitch coming. Strike caught over the outside edge, and now the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dylan Paul ready to pitch from the windup. Outside, count even 2-2. Umpire says that's just a bit outside. Well placed, but better disciplined by Roba. That runs the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Time called by the home plate umpire. Paul will finish the ritual, but it does not count as an official pitch. Full count pitch. Dylan Paul in the windup. Check swing. Appeal is unsuccessful. Bethel Park started to throw it around, but the umpire said ball 4 after the check swing appeal. So not a strike on the pitch, not a strike on the swing. Ball 4 issued to Roba, so he's on first base. Still 1 out in the inning. Pat Zender having some words with the home plate umpire from the Bethel Park dugout. Now Bethel Park's going to have a coach go out to the mound. Pat Zender going to go have a conversation. I'm listening to their conversation. You might not be able to hear it out there at home plate, but Pat Zender was the home plate umpire saying, "Coach is in the dugout. Coach is in the dugout." Then Pat Zender was asked by the home plate umpire, "You want to say something now?" And the home plate, and then Pat Zender was like, "Yeah, I want to say something." So now they're having a civil conversation out on the mound. That's baseball for you. At this level, you don't see too many ejections, and Pat Zender's a nice man. Very involved with the Bethel Park School District. I don't think he'd do anything overly outrageous unless there was an egregious call. That one was a judgment call that did not go Bethel Park's way, which I think Zender understands that, but wanted to say something, and the umpire let him, and that way the peace is maintained. Zender wasn't too loud or too animated. The home plate umpire wasn't overly frustrated by the discrepancy, and that is that's what you call maturity right there on both sides. Very, very well displayed. So, one out in the inning. There's a runner on first base after the walk. That's Roba at first base, and now Derek Falvo, the designated hitter, comes to the plate. Pick-off attempt. Back safely is Roba. After all that, just a reminder, Bethel Park still trailing by 2 runs. It's a 2-0 score. Trinity hasn't scored since the second. Bethel Park has failed to score at all. 1-0 pitch. Just a bit inside, according to the home plate umpire. Count is 2 balls and 0 strikes. Pick-off attempt quick. And Roba again back safely. Falvo hitting for the pitcher Schrader in this one. Pick-off attempt again. No tag even applied. Roba with a healthy lead off first base. Dylan Paul comes set. Runner goes. Strike called. Throw down to second is well high and into center field. Rillo couldn't play it on the backup attempt. And so 2 bases taken there by Roba. Credit him with a stolen base. And then the errant throw by Hoffbauer. Sorry, not Hoffbauer. Got them mixed up. Stanhoff, the catcher, Ethan Stanhoff, threw that ball into center field. That time call, the umpire is going to have another discussion here. So that was a strike call on the pitch. So Roba advances 2 bases, 1 on a stolen base and 1 on an error. The Bethel Park infield is now playing in to prevent against a runner from, or not just any runner, that particular runner at third from scoring. In the dirt, Stanhoff blocks it. Keeps it in front of him. And now Dylan Paul behind in the count. He's electing to throw from the windup as well with just 1 runner on third base. 1 out in the inning. Bethel Park trailing by 2 runs. Paul into the windup. Swing and a miss. Falvo with a big hack. Count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pivotal moment in this game. Time called. Falvo steps back in. Big hack, ball in the dirt. Stanhoff will have to complete the strikeout by throwing down to first. And he does. Without any incident from Roba there at third base. So Roba stays on third. Falvo strikes out. 2 outs now in the top of the 6th inning. And here is Hathaway. Dylan Paul still going to throw from the windup. Runner goes. Tag. Well, the tag doesn't matter because Stanhoff lost the baseball on the stolen base attempt. And so that's part of the danger when you throw from the windup as a pitcher with any runners on base. Robot took a huge risk and steals home to give Trinity its third run of the game, and the lead now extended. It's 3-0 Trinity. And now Pat Zender is again, he's a little bit upset. The home plate umpire telling him to get back on the bench. The home plate umpire did not make a pronounced call on what the pitch was. And Pat Zender's been thrown out of the game. You rarely see that. But Pat Zender just got thrown out of this baseball game. He was complaining. One of the phrases he used was, "Can we figure something out?" Just upset with the umpires for, there's been a few discussions by them throughout the game just to try to get calls right and get things figured out. And Pat Zender, the home plate umpire, just said, "You're thrown out because you're arguing balls and strikes." Pat Zender's arguing, "No, I'm not arguing balls and strikes. I'm trying to argue about what the call was, because there was no pronounced call on that pitch, and Dylan Paul did deliver a pitch, so there's got to be a call, ball, or strike after a pitch was delivered, despite whether there was a steal attempt or not at any base, even including home." So that's just what Zender's gripe is you got to figure that out. Like you had to be watching the pitch come in, and you had to be watching the play at the plate. That's tougher than it seems at times, but that is the job, and that was what needed to be called. So the umpire again didn't give a pronounced call. Pat Zender didn't like that, so they had to have another discussion, and then Zender got thrown out of the baseball game. And so he's going to have to leave the field out of sight and out of hearing distance. So now the Bethel Park team can have a meeting at the mound to just talk it over. And you see Zender, well, you can't quite see him. We don't have a camera angle on it. But Zender's walking off the field after being ejected, so an early day for him. There's the umpires there, just talking things over again, breaking up the conference on the mound. So the official call is a ball. It's 1 ball, no strike. No strikes, excuse me. On Trinity's hitter, Hathaway. So after all that, that's what happened. A run just scored. Dylan Paul was throwing from the windup with a runner on third base. That was Roba who took the risk to steal home. He did successfully, giving Trinity its third run of the game. It's now 3-0. Bases are empty. And a ball was called on the pitch as the stolen base attempt is happening. Check swing. And the umpire says ball on the pitch. And no appeal there, so it's just going to be a 2-ball, no strike count now on Hathaway. 2 outs, bases empty, 3-0 Trinity lead in the top of the 6th inning. Strike called, count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Oh, Dylan Paul just hit Hathaway in the head, in the helmet. And he's been awarded first base, and now he's going to be checked on. Never like to see that. Those helmet shots are nothing to mess around with, but that's why you wear them. Adds that extra protection. Still a little scary. Hathaway standing up, being checked out by a couple of professionals, and he's going to walk down to first base slowly. This game turned real chaotic quickly. A boiling point happened after Roball stole home for Trinity. Pat Zender thrown out of the game. Then the plate appearance continued for Hathaway, who ended up getting hit by a pitch. So now he's on first base, and Trinity's going to have a runner come out. For Hathaway, it's Poland who's going to stand at first base now. They're checking on Hathaway. Poland's just standing there with Hathaway right now at first base. And they are going to take Hathaway out of the game just for precaution. Theoretically, still could re-enter him into the game if they chose to, or they could leave Poland in. So we'll see what substitutions unfold from this development. But Hathaway hit by a pitch in the helmet and then taken out of the game, standing under his own power. They're just taking him out of the game. So Poland in for Hathaway, and now Jonah Williamson, the catcher, of Trinity and the number 6 hitter in the order will come to the plate. This game was moving along rather efficiently, and this 6th inning has gone rather slowly here. Now time called, another meeting at the mound for Bethel Park. The infielders will converge yet again. Yeah, it's moving quite efficiently. 2 runs for Trinity scored in the 2nd. They've got 1 run in here in the top of the 6th inning. Bethel Park has yet to score in this game despite several opportunities to do so. And with that, I just want to give credit to our crew here right now. Ryder is doing the directing. Linus is running camera. And Michael Mariano at BPTV has traded places with Dave Cable and is now running our cable stream. So we appreciate Michael for sticking around now and getting us through the conclusion of this game. But you're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. My name is Nicholas Callis, by the way, talking you through this one. Some substitutions going to be made now for Bethel Park. Looks like a pretty simple straight swap. Owen White is going to go from first base, and he's going to come into pitch. Dylan Paul is going to be taken out from pitcher, but he's going to remain in the game, and on defense, he's going to play first base. And now Owen White throwing his warm-up pitches. So this inning was starting out rather in standard fashion. Samagala struck out, and then Robaugh reached base. Stole second, and then as he was stealing second, advanced to third after the throw down from Stanhoff went into center field. So with Robaugh on third base and 1 out, Derek Fowler struck out. And then while Hathaway was at the plate, Robaugh decided to try to steal home because Dylan Paul was throwing from the windup. Robaugh was safe at home. Pat Zender got upset about the umpire's, his opinion of the umpire's conduct. He was thrown out of the game after the stolen base. Later on in the plate appearance, Hathaway got hit by a pitch and then was taken out of the game for Poland, who's now pinch running at first base. And then after that substitution happened, Bethel Park said, all right, we're going to take Dylan Paul out from pitching. So they swapped him at first base with Owen White, who's now coming into pitch with Bethel Park down 3-0 in the top of the 6th inning. A very uneventful 5 innings of this game, and then the 6th inning just a lot has unfolded in this 6th inning. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to address, but that's the summary of what happened. So Bethel Park's without a head coach after the ejection. Trinity has another run tacked onto its score, making it a 3-0 game, and this inning is still going on because a batter was hit. And so now Jonah Williamson will take this plate appearance here, being the first assignment for Owen White, with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. And this is a 7-inning regulation game. Here's the pitch. That was bounced up to the plate. Stanhoff keeps it in front of him. One ball, no strike count on the catcher of Trinity. This is a Class 5A Section 2 baseball game. Bethel Park won the first game of the split doubleheader yesterday by a final of 5-1. Trinity has kept Bethel Park scoreless through 5 full innings. Bethel Park's hit on offense. Check swing. Counts 2-0. Pick off attempt and back safely is Poland. Poland running for Hathaway after Hathaway was hit in the helmet by a pitch. Walked off the field under his own power. Trinity elected to take him out. Fly ball hit well out toward right center field. Back toward the wall it goes. But playable, and the catch made out and right by Joey Levis, and that will end the top of the 6th inning. An eventful top of the 6th. Trinity pushes across a run on a steal of home by Robaugh. And at the end of the top of the 6th inning, it is Trinity 3 and Bethel Park 0. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. If you're watching this game on April 1st, 2025, it is a live baseball game, whether you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe, by the way, if you want to watch section baseball games live this season. It'd be Blackhawk TV 412 on YouTube. I mean, watch or subscribe, too. You know, if you're watching, why wouldn't you subscribe? You'll get notified whenever we go live. That's just a no-brainer. And if you're watching on cable TV, again, April 1st, 2025, it is a live baseball game you're watching. You can catch live games on cable TV, too, whenever they're on. Home and away games, in-section games for Bethel Park. We're not covering every single game, but if it's a section game, home or away, we'll be covering it guaranteed. Watch on Comcast 21 and Verizon 32 live. Zach Schrader is still going to pitch for Trinity. They got an extra run in that top of the 6th inning, making it a 3-0 game. Pat Zender was removed from the baseball game in that top of the 6th inning after a runner stole home. So he's no longer the head coach for this game. And Bethel Park entering this bottom of the 6th inning has failed to score at all at this point. 7, 8, 9 hitters, bottom of the order, due up for Bethel Park. Owen White, Joey Levis, and Aaron Hoffbauer, the 3 scheduled to hit. Schrader pitching into his 6th inning. Boy, did I mess that up. 22 and 28 look very similar in numbers from this angle. It's actually Burt who's coming to pitch for Trinity. So Schrader done after 5 scoreless innings. Ground ball to the right side of the infield. Throw to first. In time for the out. Connolly at second, the one to make that play. So 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning. 3-0 Trinity lead. Base is empty. Here's Joey Levis. Foul to the left side. Count is 0-1. The bottom of the order for Bethel Park has been getting on base pretty well in this game. And Bethel Park has just left on a large number of base runners in this one. They've been getting on base pretty consistently through each of the innings. They just have not turned those base runners into runs scored. 0-2 pitch coming from Burt. Line drive, left center field. That'll get down for a hit. Levis rounds first. He's hustling, going to try for second. The throw's offline, and Levis is safe at second base with a double. A hustle double at that. Williamson going to have a meeting at the mound with Burt, newly entered into the game, relieving Zach Schrader, who pitched 5 scoreless innings. A 1-out double for Joey Levis, and a pinch hitter is going to come to the plate. It's Eric Meal for Bethel Park, who's going to bat in place of Aaron Hoffbauer. It is a pivotal spot, but not a really big spot here with Trinity up 3-0. Bethel Park's going to have to score more than that 1 run on second to make an effort at tying this game. Counts 0-1 after that swing and miss. Mills' first plate appearance here. Again, he's pinch hitting for Aaron Hoffbauer. Bottom of the 6th inning. Bethel Park down by 3 runs. Burt's pitch. Foul tip. Right into the middle of Williamson. That makes it a no-ball, 2-strike count. Too high. Counts 1-2. Burt, a hard-throwing right-hander. responsible for protecting the lead of Trinity after Schrader's scoreless 5-inning effort. 1-2 pitch coming. Ball, 2-2. Levis decides not to go. Didn't get too far away from Williamson behind the plate. Bethel Park undefeated to this point in the season for its games against section opponents. 1-2 against Upper St. Clair. Then beat Trinity yesterday 5-1 in the first game of this two-game split doubleheader. Strike three called right over the heart of the plate, and Meal is down on strikes. In that pinch hitting situation. So 2 outs, runner on second base in the form of Joey Levis, and now it's back at the top of the order. Ryan Petrus will bat for Bethel Park. Too high for a ball. 1 ball, no strike count. Joey Levis doubled to reach second base. That in between a couple outs. On the ground, left side of the infield, foul just a few feet to the left of the third base bag. Count evens up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Too high. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Pop fly right side of the infield. That'll be foul over the fence. That evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Too high. Makes the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. There are 2 outs, a runner on second base. And Trinity is leading 3-0. Burt's pitch. Fouled again. Petrus keeps this plate appearance going. Count still full. Trinity got 2 runs in the second inning. A run this top of the 6th inning. Burt ready to deliver another pitch. Runner goes, throw it on to third, and Levis is in a rundown. I have a feeling I know why he tried to do that. I'll explain after the rundown's over. Levis tagged out at third base. That'll end the 6th inning. Levis tried to steal. 3 ball, 2 strike count with 2 outs. Normally, if you're forced to go to third, or on any forced play, you'll run because either way, there's going to be an out, ball 4, or a ball batted in play. Levis did that, but he shouldn't have because there was no runner on first base, so nobody was forcing him to go to third base, and Williamson was alert there to throw the ball down to third. Levis unexpectedly saw the throw down to third, got caught in a rundown, and got tagged out. So unfortunate play there for Bethel Park, run out of an inning. So Bethel Park, no runs on a hit, and there's 1 runner left on base in that inning. After 6 full innings, Bethel Park trails by a score of 3-0 to Trinity. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. My name is Nicholas Callis, writer directing this game, and Linus running camera. Got one more regulation inning of baseball here. Bethel Park's trailing this one by 3. On the top of the 7th now, and Owen White, who came in the middle of the 6th inning to relieve Dylan Paul, will now start this 7th inning. Trinity got 2 runs on a few hits in the 2nd inning. Scored after Roba, who was the conductor of that inning, reached base, stole second, and on the play, ball was thrown into center field by the catcher, so he was able to advance from first to third in total. And then while Dylan Paul was throwing from the windup, Roba was able to score, stealing home, getting a good jump on Dylan Paul's windup. Now it's the 7th. 2-1 strike count. Too high. 3-1 strike count. Bottom of the order, due up for Trinity in this half inning. Donnelly, Stoy, and Hartley, the 3 to hit. Strike called. Runs count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Donnelly. Bethel Park's next game after this comes on April the 3rd, just a couple days from now. Bethel Park plays Seton LaSalle in a non-section game. Swing and a miss. And Donnelly is down on strikes. 1 out. Top of the 7th inning, and now here comes the 8th hitter in the order, Garrett Stoy. One out, nobody on. Owen White pitching. And hitting the helmet. It's the second batter that Bethel Park has hit in the head. Dylan Paul hit Hathaway in the head last inning. Now Stoy gets hit here in the head. So he'll get taken down to first base after a chat with the training staff, just making sure he's still all with it. Don't want to take head injuries lightly. It's a good call by the medical professionals, just looking it over, making sure he can count, making sure he can see, making sure everything's good, taking all the precautions necessary after impact to the head like that. Still talking to Stoy as Hartley comes up to the plate, starts taking his practice swings, getting prepared for his plate appearance. And so Stoy's going to touch first base, and then he's going to be... Looks like they're going to sub him out of the game. Hathaway was also subbed out after being hit in the head. They're going to do the same thing with Stoy. Just seems to be a precautionary measure with the game where it is right now. It's 3-0. Trinity leads Bethel Park. 1 out, runner on first. Top of the 7th inning. Veltri, the pinch runner at first base for Stoy. Owen White now throwing from the stretch. Now time called. Jace Hartley gets ready to bat, but before that the umpire looks like he's going to take a note. Just confirming the substitution made. Veltri for Stoy. Owen White, pick off attempt to first, back safely is Veltri. Owen White starting the 7th after coming in relief in the 6th. Here's the pitch. Ball on the left side of the infield. Count is even. Maybe not even. I spoke too soon. Counts 0-1. According to the scoreboard, 0-1, 1 out. Runner on first base. Ball. White comes set. Here's the pitch. Line drive out to left, and that's foul. Well struck, but well foul. And now there are 2 strikes on Jace Hartley. Ball outside. Jace Hartley has a couple strikes on him. Runner on first base in the form of Veltri. Came in to pinch run for the hit batter Stoy. Strike 3 called over the outside edge. That is out number 2. Runner remains on first base, and top of the order back up for Trinity. Here comes Chandler. Will bat with his team up by 3 runs. With 2 outs in this top of the 7th inning, last inning of regulation. Outside for a ball, counts 1-0. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV, on YouTube with simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. 1-0 pitch. Ball. 2 ball, no strike count. Pick off attempt, back safely is Veltri. Ball too high. Another ball there, and that's going to be a walk. Chandler walks against Owen White. That moves Veltri from first to second, so 2 on, 2 out. And the order continues to move down. It's Samagala at the plate. Well, time is called, and they're going to have a meeting on the mound. It's Stanhoff, the catcher, talking to Owen White. Of course, Bethel Park doesn't want to have any more runs come across. 3 runs is already plenty to have to overcome. Samagala at the plate with 2 on, 2 out, and his team already up by 3 runs. It's going to be the difference between Bethel Park having a better chance in the bottom of the 7th or this game getting out of hand. One ball, no strike count on Samagala. Owen White taking his time. Now comes set and then steps off. Trinity and Bethel Park. Playing in this one, that one misses in the dirt. Bethel Park won on the road yesterday 5-1, but trail at home here 3-0. First home game of the season for Bethel Park at this field. They technically had a home game at USC. They just played that one as a doubleheader, though, last week. So some weather concerns. Didn't worry about coming back here to Bethel Park on any other day. They played 2 that Tuesday. Strike counts 2-1. Played 2 against Upper St. Clair on Tuesday, March 25th. Bethel Park won both of those. Bethel Park 3-0 in section. Trinity 1-2. We can turn that around quickly with a win here. they were to maintain this lead and then end up winning, Trinity would even out to a 2-2 section record. These two were close. The top of the section last season, Trinity almost won it. Bethel Park came through in the clutch late in the season to prevent Trinity from doing that, but it came down to one of the last sets of the season, and Bethel Park ended up winning it to secure section supremacy. Trinity finished below Bethel Park. Bethel Park won another section championship. Trinity, those games were tough. Swing and a miss. Samagala down on strikes. That ends the inning. But yeah, like I was saying, those games at the end of the season were tough. They were exciting ones. Bethel Park prevailed, but Trinity has been a worthy opponent and has proven that in this game. Trinity fails to score in the top of the 7th inning, but Bethel Park is the trailing team right now. Going into the bottom of the 7th inning, it is a 3-0 score. Last half inning of regulation is coming up next. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access Television, Comcast 21 and Verizon 32. And if you're watching this game on April 1st, 2025, it is a live baseball game. 3-0 to score. Bethel Park trails. Bethel Park has not scored at all. This is the last inning of regulation for them to do something, and they must overcome a 3-run deficit to do so. 2, 3, 4 hitters due up for Bethel Park in this half inning. Stanhoff, Bruckner, and Lejeune. Stanhoff takes a strike. Count is even 1-1. Ball too high. It was an eventful 6th inning that allowed Trinity to score an extra run and had Pat Zender get thrown out of the game. Head coach of Bethel Park. Inside, Stanhoff hit by the pitch. And Bethel Park has its leadoff runner on. And Stanhoff is entitled to a courtesy runner, so we'll see how that gets used here. They will indeed use a courtesy runner on Ethan Stanhoff. It's Owen Tarosky who's going to go run for Stanhoff. And now Mike Bruckner stands at the plate. Third hitter in the order for Bethel Park. And third baseman. Well, this is the right part of the order for Bethel Park if they are indeed going to mount a comeback. Ball outside. Burt still on the mound for Trinity, pitched a scoreless 6th inning and came in that 6th inning to replace Zach Schrader, who pitched 5 scoreless innings against Bethel Park. Had some shaky ones in there, but got the ultimate result of keeping Bethel Park scoreless through 5. Burt escaped trouble last inning. Bethel Park mounted a 2-out rally, but failed to push any runners across. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Mike Bruckner. Strike 2 called over the outside edge. Counts 1-2 now on Mike Bruckner. Pick-off attempt. Gets away. Tarosky gets up, and Tarosky will move to second base. And now Tarosky in scoring position after an errant pickoff throw from Burt. That helps Bethel Park just a little bit more, but again, right now, Tarosky, the runner, and Bruckner at the plate. They are inconsequential runs. They've got to be mounted together with a third run scored to at least tie the game. And Burt steps off, and now Jonah Williamson will call time and go have a conversation on the mound with Burt. Ethan Stanoff got hit by a pitch, reached first base, was then courtesy ran for by Owen Tarosky, who advanced to second base on an errant pickoff throw from Burt on the mound. So now Tarosky in scoring position. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count on the number 3 hitter in Bethel Park's order, Mike Bruckner. Two and 2 is the count now. Bethel Park wins. Bethel Park will remain undefeated in section. If Trinity can hold on to the lead and win, Trinity will have its second section win of the season and hand Bethel Park its first loss in section play this season. These two teams part of Class 5A, Section 2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout completed by Jonah Williamson, getting the force out at first base. So Mike Bruckner strikes out swinging for out number 1 in the bottom of the 7th. Now Noah Lejeune will bat with 1 out and a runner in scoring position. And right now the responsibility for the hitters coming to the plate now is to get on base and bring up the potential tying run. Ryan Walsh still listed as a player available, 2 on the bench for Bethel Park. That's something to keep in mind. He did not start today's game as that one misses inside for a ball. Counts 1-0 on Noah Lejeune, Bethel Park's designated hitter in this game. Strike. So Lejeune is batting for Dylan Paul definitively in this game. Paul's a starting pitcher. He ended up playing first base, and then Owen White came in to pitch, but Lejeune is still batting for Paul. That's how the designated hitter rule works in this situation. That one misses. Counts 2-1. Jack Bruckner awaits on deck for Bethel Park. 2-1 pitch. Foul tip. Count even up, 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Crucial spot in this game for both teams. Trinity holding on securely right now to a 3-run lead. Bethel Park not able to score at all through the first 6 innings of this one. It's the last inning of regulation. Ball thrown by Burt. Counts full. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Noah Lejeune. Line drive, out to right, shy of the warning track. Catch is not made. It's bobbing in right field. And Bethel Park, the beneficiary of an error in right field. Oh, man, that spices things up. Error out in right field on a fly ball. So on the play, Owen Tarosky advances from first to third. Or from second to third, I should say, excuse me. And Noah Lejeune able to get to second base. That ball was hit so high in the air. So 2 runners in scoring position, and Bethel Park gets a gift. Trinity has a meeting at the mound. Burt not responsible, at least in the earned run column, for Lejeune on second. Looks like he got pinch ran for anyway. Brian Bitkowski's now on second base. Pinch running for Noah Lejeune, so a substitution made there. Bethel Park is prioritizing speed, as it now should in this situation, because Jack Bruckner right now represents the potential tying run for Bethel Park. 1 out, 2 runners in scoring position. Trinity is leading this game by 3 runs. But Bethel Park in a position to score here. In the dirt, ball. One-0 pitch to Jack Bruckner. Too high. Momentum starting to tip in the balance in the direction of Bethel Park. Hitters count for Jack Bruckner with 2 on base. 2 runners in scoring position. Strike over the inside edge of the plate on Jack Bruckner. Count is now 2 balls and a strike. Too high. 3-1 count. Nick Rillo awaits in the on-deck circle. This game is starting to intensify. Jackson Burt comes set. Ball 4, the pitch is too high and the bases are loaded.
Now batting, number 9, Nick Rillo.
1 out. Bases loaded for Bethel Park. Bethel Park is down by 3 runs. And it's the 6th hitter in the order now for Bethel Park, Nick Rillo. He's going to bat against Jackson Burt in this now pivotal situation. The potential tying run is on first base, and the first pitch misses for ball 1. It's getting tense. 1 ball, no strike count. 2 ball, no strike count. Oh. Hitters count for Nick Rillo. Jackson Burt trying to recover from missing his spot there. 2 ball, no strike count. Ball. 3 ball, no strike count. Bethel Park hasn't scored in the first 6 innings of this one, but 1 more pitch off the plate, and a run will be forced home. Strike caught over the knees. Bird able to get one over. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Bethel Park in prime position to score, and the potential tying run is at first base in the form of Jack Bruckner. Swing and a miss. Big hack from Nick Rillo. The count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch. Soft fly ball, left field. That will be foul. Unplayable. Bethel Park trailing 3-0 against Trinity. Bottom of the 7th inning. It's the last inning of regulation. Payoff pitch. Ball 4 in the dirt. It gets away. It gets over the backstop. Oh my goodness. Oh, and now there may be a controversy. Bethel Park is saying that the runners get 2 bases since it went over the backstop. Usually when the ball goes out of play, the runners get a base plus 1, but there are some specific rules for when a ball gets through the backstop on a wild pitch. Every runner then is usually entitled to just 1 base and then plays dead. So none of the runners can advance any further than 1 base. Looks like that's what the call is going to be. So Nick Rillo walks and then his pitch run for at first base. So an RBI for Nick Rillo. Bethel Park ends its scoreless streak there. Bethel Park has scored. It's now a 3-1 game, and this game has just turned a complete 180 in the direction of Bethel Park, at least momentum-wise. They don't have a lead yet. They don't have the win yet. They're not even really quite close to tying it unless a hit gets into the gap. I'll rephrase that in a minute. Here's the pitch. Ball. Owen White's at the plate. They are close to tying it. And the potential winning run for the game is now on first base in the form of Brady Bruckner. So I meant to say they are indeed close to scoring. That tying run is now at second base in scoring position. Strike called. Counts 1-1 on Owen White, who came in to pitch in relief for Bethel Park and gave up no runs through his portion of the sixth and the entire seventh inning for Bethel Park when they were on defense. High and in. A crucial error in right field allowed for Noah Lejeune to reach base and push Owen Tarosky to third. Owen Tarosky just scored on that walk. Tarosky was the courtesy runner for Stanhoff, the catcher for Bethel Park. Count even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bethel Park using a plethora of pinch runners as well to maximize speed. Bitkowski's on third, Jack Bruckner's on second, and Brady Bruckner is on first base. 2-2 count. Fly ball into the air, an infield fly rule likely to be called. So the batter's out automatically. Owen White is out. And that is now 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Joey Levis doubled in his last at bat. Now gets a shot here with 2 outs and the base is empty. So now with 2 outs, a single likely ties the game. Jack Bruckner has some speed at second base. Crucial spot here, pivotal point in the game. Ball. Counts 1-0. The infield's playing back. They also have a play at any base. There's a force at any base since the bases are loaded, which gives them a slight advantage defensively there to make routine plays at bags that are closer to them. 1 ball, no strike pitch. 2-0's the count. Aaron Hoffbauer is the on-deck batter, would bat next if Levis could reach base and reach without driving home the winning run. Strike over the outside edge, makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Bethel Park was able to score its first run this bottom of the 7th inning after Nick Rillo walked with the bases loaded to push home a run. 2-1 pitch. Ball. Oh. The plot thickens. It's a 3-ball, 1 strike count. 2 outs, bases loaded. Bethel Park down by 2 runs. Pop foul. Now a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jackson Burt trying to lock down this game and save it for Trinity. Pitched a scoreless 6th inning. Gave up a run here in the 7th, though not completely earned with that error out in right field. Payoff pitch. Ball forward, hit the dirt. And another run's going to come in to score. Bitkowski scores from third base. Jack Bruckner advances from second to third. Brady Bruckner advances from first to second. And there's Levis on first base. He gets a run batted in, making it now a 3-2 game. You're watching Bethel Park High School baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. This game has gotten tense. Bethel Park was trailing by 3 going into this bottom of the 7th inning, but now a hit, a walk, a hit batter ties the game for Bethel Park. The potential tying run is on third, and the potential winning run is on second base. Hoffbauer down to the count, no balls, 1 strike after that one was called on him. Fouled back, count is no balls and 2 strikes. Well, if Hoffbauer can reach on anything that scores less than 2 runs. That would give Ryan Petrus a shot. If Hoffbauer gets a ball into the outfield, Brady Bruckner fast enough to score, especially with 2 outs. Bethel Park has used a few pinch runners in this half inning. Gain a maximum speed for this situation. Foul tip into the mitt of Jonah Williamson. Hoffbauer strikes out with the bases loaded, and Bethel Park, despite trying to mount a comeback, fails to tie the game and loses by 1 run in 7 of in 7 innings, 7 regulation innings. Sorry, I said that strangely. That'll do it. Final score, Bethel Park loses to Trinity 3-2 the final score. Bethel Park now 3-1 in section, still leading the section. Trinity is now 2-2 in section after splitting both their 2-game set with Chartreuse Valley and now this 2-game set here with Bethel Park. Zach Strader, a heck of a game pitched for him. He pitched 5 scoreless innings, a big reason why Bethel Park couldn't get any runs. It was just his ability to get out of jams and give his team 5 quality innings. Jackson Burt, despite making it exciting, not to any fault of his own either. There was an error out in right field that allowed Bethel Park to extend the bottom of the 7th inning, and a big reason why they were able to score at all. That error does not come back to haunt the Trinity team. Bethel Park fails to tie the game. Jackson Burt locks down the game and saves it for Trinity, and they cling on to a 1-run lead in the 7th inning to get the win. Well, that'll do it here from Bethel Park's baseball field, Perky Field, just outside the Bethel Park High School. Thank you to Ryder, who's our director, Linus running camera, and Michael Mariano now back at our BPTV studios, bringing this game from the internet to cable TV for those of you watching on Bethel Park Public Access Television. My name is Nicholas Callis, saying so long, and I'll repeat the final score one more time. Bethel Park loses this one by a final of 3-2 to Trinity. This has been a presentation of Blackhawk TV and Bethel Park Public Access Television.